The session progresses to squad against squad matches. The intensity ratchets up a bit.
There's always a Marine trying to be better than I'm a Marine, and always a Marine that knows more and wants to learn more. You know, it makes it a lot more competitive here.
All members of a losing squad have to do 10 burpees, push-ups combined with a vertical jump.
Both my feet on the deck. What am I going to do? I'm going to drive back, create that space, correct? Now you guys started to implement that.
All sessions end with some kind of tie-in. It can be a historical lesson or behavior advice or a discussion of what's just gone on.
The junior leaders of the Marine Corps are being brought along, ready to step up and basically attain more responsibility. So that's what they're learning, so that's what we're here for.
It's a great course. You know, it's not all about, you know, what you see here, the fighting. It's more of a leadership school. So, you know, it really teaches Marines how to become better leaders in combat, all around, whether it be Marine or civilian. And it just makes them better all, you know, all around.
The Martial Arts Center for Excellence is headquartered in a building called Raider Hall, named for the Marine Raiders of World War II, the first special operations unit in American military history.
Talk about hand-to-hand. Quite a few of them. That's combat right there.
The headquarters houses a small museum with memorabilia from the Raiders' legendary battle record in the South Pacific. The Marine Corps treasures its history and traditions, including modern hand-to-hand fighting traced back to the trench fighting of World War I.
Go to World War I, and you remember the famous battles of Bella Woods. Again, it was a long rifle and the bayonet, another martial arts skill. But we didn't really call it martial arts, but it is a martial art.
Bayonets were again the basis for most hand-to-hand training in World War II. But the Marine Raiders introduced a new wrinkle: martial arts and the use of improvised weapons. Young Marines being introduced to the Marine Corps martial arts program today are taught many of the same techniques employed by the Raiders. The MICMAP system was ordered up by General James Jones when he was Commandant in 1999, inspired by the fearsome reputation of Republic of Korea Marines in Vietnam. They were reputed to all be black belts in Taekwondo, and they wore a distinctive uniform.
Well, he remembered that and said, by golly, we're all different, so we're going to wear a different uniform. And then also, because of his experiences, he wanted folks to know that if you tangle with a Marine, they're all going to be martial artists also.
From the beginning, the program emphasized the physical, mental, and character disciplines.
And the director likes to talk about it as a three-legged stool, and that stool's not going to stand if one of those legs is missing. So the mental and the character disciplines are just as important to this program as the physical disciplines. And it gave me the confidence to know that I can get, you know, a pretty good butt kicking and still get back up and keep going.
Lieutenant Colonel Joe Shusko knows the teaching is paying off in the war zones.
There's not very many months that go by that we don't get an email or something from a commander that says, you know, the character of our young Marines on making a decision in regards to killing or not killing, or making a decision on a split notice, is basically a wonderful thing to see, and they're equating that to what they're being taught with our core values in the character discipline of our program.
Let's get in.
We're trying to keep instilling honor, courage, and commitment into Marines, make them better warriors, but smarter warriors. Not just, you know, I mean, obviously I'm not that big, but I like to think of myself as somewhat an intelligent warrior.
If you have a PFC come in the Marine Corps and he spends 4 years in the MAP system, hopefully we can return a better human being to the civilian world than when we got him.
198,000 of 200,000 Marines in the Corps have received MICMAP training. Every infantry Marine is now required to become a green belt. Everyone else is required to be at least a gray belt, the second level in the MICMAP system.
And it's for the entire Marine Corps. It doesn't matter if you're an aviator or you're a female or male. It doesn't really matter what your job is. Everyone will do it.
The Marines used a top-down approach to create the MICMAP program. In the Army, it was bottom-up.
You know, especially on a battlefield, most fights end up being grappling. Whether that be standing or ground is inconsequential.
Matt Larson became director of the Army Combatives program after he retired from active duty. But in 1995, he was a Ranger squad leader ordered to reinvigorate the hand-to-hand training program. The Combatives manual hadn't changed much since World War II, so he set out to create something new. He'd become a martial arts aficionado while stationed in Tokyo and began merging techniques from different disciplines and designing a training regimen that was easy to integrate into daily military activities.
I had tried to train my squads. I was a squad leader for many years. I tried to train them in some of the other methods, striking skills, etc. But once I started teaching them from the ground up, grappling based first, I knew immediately that it was going to grow. So every time you're letting your hands down like that, you're giving them an angle. So bring your hands back up to the center.
Oh, that's good.
We teach grappling first, not because most fights go to the ground or because that's a tactic we advocate or anything else. We teach grappling first because it's the easiest to learn. And also sets the groundwork to learn all the rest of fighting.
Larson's teaching approach spread from squad to company to battalion. As those who had learned it moved from other assignments, they took this version of Combatives with them. And since his training program caught on so well, Matt was asked to rewrite the Army's Combatives manual.
The last manual came out in 2002, and that's when it became doctrine.
He also began to develop Train the Trainer programs. While many different techniques are taught, the core of the program is a simple, common-sense approach. Use what works. Take a typical fight.
If that guy's trying to pummel me with his fists, if I tackle him, well, then his plan's over. If I fight for a dominant position, which is one of the first things we teach, and it's not really dependent upon knowing techniques or remembering anything other than just this strategy, you're already a better fighter after the first 2 hours of training because you have a better plan.
And that is a mindset students learn to take with them. While Combatives has its deadly serious side, it also has its sporting side. Tournaments have grown steadily. In 2008, the All-Army Championships at Fort Benning had 59 teams and 350 fighters.
How do you provide purpose, direction, and motivation to get people training? And the best tool we have for that is competitions.
It's a big pride thing. A lot of sergeant majors come out and they'll back their guys and stuff like that, and it gives you a sense of, I guess, accomplishment. And you know you went out there and you did well in front of all your co-workers and stuff like that, so it's exciting.
Sergeant Samuel Vanderslice, who would break his foot in 2 places in the Level 3 course, was proudly in Fort Bragg's corner. Sergeant Chris Gordon took 3rd for the 173rd Airborne Brigade Combat Team out of Italy and went on to become an instructor at the Combatives School. And Sergeant Todd Rader was pleased with the whole tournament process, starting at the battalion level.
And it culminates at the championships where they actually get to be a part of something, be a part of a team, and to show somebody that, hey, I can represent my unit, represent my post, and be proud of it.
The tournaments may be outlets for competitiveness, but at their heart, they reflect life and death combat skills. All of the services have interest in mixed martial arts and close combat. That's especially true for infantry units. Not surprisingly, the Army and Marine Corps have developed very different but effective ways to grow the warrior ethos. I'm Master Sergeant Ryan Hoke, and you've been watching Recon.